Greetings everyone, please give me a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Let's see, things are booting on up. YouTube's going. Rumble's going. Sorry about that. Yep, looks like everything's booting on up. Can we turn on the live chat windows? We turn on the macros. Okay, that's all good, and I think everything is good to go. So, let's go ahead and get started. Gotta get a drink, and let's go. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn tops, top right side as the Green Earth. Sasha got Endeavor. Spawn bottom left side is a Fire Red. Now got Isla Ruza. This is not a global league game, but a live league game. So something you have to keep in mind is the time remaining, because this is playable at live time rather than like you have like X amount of hours to respond to your next turn. So let's get started. Looks like this map does have a free lander for both sides, sitting on top of the mountainside, with a recon blocking this path on out of there. Unusual map design to say the least. Black boats on top of the lab here. In both players you have two labs, those scattered across both east half of the map. Good number of shores across the side of the map as well. Recon gets of course a good amount of early intel. We do have a T-copter here. We have a mech here probably trying to clear out the recon. Recon down south as well, T-copter heading over here, and this con tower looks like surrounded by blue. Oh, there's a shore there, so you can reach it. Of course, when it comes to day-to-days as well, you get, for now, she has plus 10% luck versus plus 100% or 10% income. Additionally, when it comes to Market Crash, that's a very spammable ability, so maybe a bit more likely to see Lucky Star rather than Lady Luck's this game. And Lucky Star improves the luck from 20% to 60%. So, what, plus 40% luck? Additionally, Calm Towers and of course increased firepower capability from activating power superpower does increase effectiveness of luck. So, Calm Towers are a bit more multiplicatively effective. Recon doesn't get a strike from the infantry unit, it hits that infantry unit twice. Both players banking up at a time. Both players above 12 minutes right now. Does take a shot against the recon. ATR tank now got a battle copter and double infantry. Over here, just one ATR and of course a battle copter as well. It looks like the ATR made a good call of which direction. And I believe that is easily in range of the ATR, so an early pick there for Sasha. Of course, there's a 3-star power versus 2-star power, so it's easier to get the Market Crash. I've seen slowly being shipped down. Artillery tank. I wonder that artillery is going to be used to take on the pipe scene. Though it doesn't really slow down the advance over here too madly. You got one less forest side you have to go through, or you have to go north, go around it. But here, you can simply just easily go around it unless you try and go this way. It may not be worth to go kill off the pipe scene, but might be. We do also have bridges here, so Cole has occasional spots where he just gets less firepower. It was bad play, Cole. Does load up those units on the lander. Tank artillery pushes its way forward. Tank anti-air. Mech is down to 1 ammo. Does take a shot at the infantry unit there, which means the anti-air could receive a first shot from this tank and anti-air. Plus the anti-air a bit too late. The tank get a good shot on the anti-air, then the battle copter can get a strike on the tank. So I'm feeling Sasha's going to get a good turn this turn. Over here, it's still pretty much just infantry. Sasha's going to move some assets down south. And the battle copter does take a strike on that tank. Drops off the mech there. Anti-air hits the infantry unit there. Does not finish off. Goes for a tank rather than for the anti-air. Interesting. I think we better go with the anti-air so the battle copter is just able to ruffle around with free reign. Of course, it was on 1 defense star as opposed to 3 as well, so I disagree with that. But now it can be showed by artillery piece, but still good trade. Oh, we got an early Lady Luck. Infantry getting 6 points of damage. Suppose Lady Luck does change a lot of aspects. I have to remember that Luck is... I don't really cast Nello too often, let's be frank. She doesn't... people don't... I don't cast her much. Tank does get a shot there. Tank infantry and battle copter up north. Now this artillery can shell the tank there. Or the anti-air. Blah, I cannot speak today, can I? Anti-air does fall back. Another full health anti-air here. Infantry unit hits the, or tank hits the infantry unit there, but the luck damage did get a point of damage across. Infantry, artillery, another battle copter. No market crash. I wonder if we're going to see a war bonds this game, or maybe that was Nell's going to be her only ever superpower this entire game, or power this entire game. Stockline power charge like that, get a chain of powers. Nell is at 98 versus 107, so Nell is behind 15 or 17 minutes versus 11 minutes, so Nell is ahead on time, which can make a difference. Medium tank infantry. Medium tank against Nell is probably not that great. You don't want to go for high-tech assets against a lot of COs. You want to go for multiple... Well, Nell wants to spam out a good number of units, and she will like to hit singular units for high luck. So it's better to go for a smaller number or a larger number of units. That medium tank has to be very careful. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. That'll strike the infantry unit there, hits the infantry unit again. Battlecopter hits the tank, a regular tank hits tank. Anti-air hits infantry in the forest. Mech still at 1 ammo. Medium tank strikes pipe scene, down to 41 health. This pipe scene is fully destroyed as well. Oh, market crash there. Completely removes Nell's power bar. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. She also gets plus 10% defense. So that infantry unit twice. Battlecopter hits the tank. Tank hits tank. Battlecopter, artillery, and recon. Does shell the tank there. It does take it out. Battlecopter or anti-air takes out battlecopter, getting a lot of extra power charge there, and of course there. Feels like Sasha's in a pretty good position right now. Pops another market crash, but Nell's power charge is high enough that she retains some power charge. Artillery tank. So Nell might be able to pull out a power this turn. Another market crash is around the corner. It's the anti-air. Does get trapped by the lander, who did not see the giant boat there. Recon does hit the artillery. Artillery's in range of artillery, and the artillery's in vision range of the artillery. Anti-air, infantry, and battlecopter. No power. 117 versus 112. Does shell the anti-air. Does take out the anti-air. Mark it, or not mark crash. Another, not Lady Luck. What's this, what's the name of the Lucky Star? Pops another power there. Strikes the artillery. Sasha's now out of power charge. Next power is cost 28,000. Next one's 32. Shell or takes out the artillery there with the recon. Sees that infantry unit there. Hits the infantry unit there. Battlecopter strikes tank. Get a couple good hits there. Trying to flip that property. Hits the mech with 1 HP. Takes out that stacks of units there to interrupt the capture. Looks like one prop, actually a couple props still despicably neutral. Got the city here and here. And there's probably another property somewhere that's still neutral as well. Property just got captured, this one here. Oh wait, it's the extra income. That's what I'm being thrown off by the number count. My bad. Gotta take a look, better look at the 18 versus 19. So this is the only profit that's still despicably neutral. And we could see a lucky star this turn, which could be useful against the medium tank. Is an infantry unit twice. When it comes to time, Sasha's down to 3 minutes versus 18, so Sasha's running out of time. Battlecopter double recon. Double anti-air. Takes out infantry unit there. Anti-air hits infantry. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. T-copter. Oh, lander finds either the tank or the lander. Maybe the battlecopter. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. One is going to be market crash turn. There could potentially be a Lady Luck next turn. Lady Luck increases our luck up to 100%. Artillery, infantry, and battlecopter. So I just popped the Lucky Star. Does not take out the tank there. Hits the T-copter. Probably should have took that out before popping the power to get extra power charge. And does not take out the lander there. This Lady Luck was not very good, honestly. Battlecopter, infantry, and anti-air. Enter for 154 versus 138. Market crash can be still be popped and drop the 17,000 power charge. Has been popped, dropped her down to 0. Hits the anti-air, hits the recon. Hits the artillery. Battlecopter hits battlecopter. Number of wounded units in the field. Battlecopter, battlecopter, double infantry. Battlecopter strikes tank. Tank strikes tank. Recon hits infantry. Infantry unit gets hit. Tank hits tank. Tank hits tank. Battlecopter strikes the battlecopter. The extra defense keeps some units alive. Interrupts the capture there. Still got 19 versus 18 property, so income is pretty even. Interrupts the capture. This probably still despicably neutral, waving the French flag. And these units are partially trapped, but of course they can still make a breakout. Or just break forward. Break through. Multiple battlecopters goes down, shells the tank there, so another Lucky Star is available. She will need to pop a market crash before the turn, or she'll be fighting against a full Lady Luck. She's getting a lot of good hits this turn, that's for sure. Does pop the power, may still see a Lucky Star next turn. Does pop the Lucky Star immediately. Shells a 3-off tank there with 3-off artillery. Tank hits artillery, does not take it out. 1-off battlecopter will finish it off. Medium tank by no. Tank hits anti-air. Recon hits infantry unit there. 5 capture progress remaining, 2 health. Sacks infantry unit there, hits that infantry unit there. Does interrupt the capture, has 4 capture progress remaining. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry ends with 103 versus 102, so that's still pretty even. Anti-air takes out the battlecopter. Gotta be careful of the counterattack damage this turn. It feels like Sasha's in a pretty good position right now. Neo-tank infantry, really discreet from Neo-tank against Luck COs. Does stop the capture. It says 3 capture progress remaining, so it takes 2 more turns to capture. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Medium tank get a first strike on the medium tank. With a slight opening needed. Pops a market crash now to get the extra 10% firepower. Battlecopter gets resupplied by the black boat. Recon, 1 capture progress remaining. Does not capture the property, so still waving the French flag. Medium tank is inside the lander. Drops off the city. Anti-air, battlecopter, and infantry. Anti-air, anti-air. You have this Neo tank push way forward, which would probably be a good idea not to push forward next to infantry units, because luck damage can be very good. Recon tank, and that's it. Answer 103 versus 143, so Sasha has about 2 turn income. Medium tank does take a shot there from the city. And next turn, who knows what's going to happen. There's probably going to be a Lucky Star next turn. It'll be actually a little bit difficult to get that little extra power charge going. Might be a good idea for a battlecopter to push forward and get power charge that way. Maybe through the tank or maybe through the battlecopter there. Battlecopter's probably the first good hit. Use it, hit the Neo tank first, which I disagree with. We're just going to just take out the Neo tank the good old fashioned way. Lucky Star immediately. Ooh, and the artillery does trap a tank. Probably a good idea to take a shot against the medium tank. It would definitely pay for itself taking a shot there. 120 versus 121. Tank does hit tank. Get as much power charge as possible beforehand. There's market crash. Battlecopter hits battlecopter. Full bomber on the field. Bombers, I think, are a better choice than Neo tanks versus Nell. Because usually bombers are alive or dead. Not really in between. Does take out the river tank there. Anti-air hits the battlecopter. Takes out that tank there. 8 health anti-battlecopter hit the 8 health battlecopter. Correct. Did I actually put Tiny Wars? I see I put Advanced Wars by Web. Yep, in the description I did put Advanced Wars by Web. Yep, this is by Web. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Remember as well, time's getting a little bit short, though Sasha's been hovering around this point. 16 minutes are for Nell. Let's take out that battlecopter. Hits this anti-air, which means more free reign for the bomber. We do have one anti-air on the field to deal with the bomber. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Recon hits infantry. Shells the tank there. Tank gets hit, does look at the regular tank there, hits the regular tank there twice. Hits this tank twice. Flanks hits the infantry unit there. Anti-air, tank, and nothing else. 115 versus 121, so that's still pretty even. Marker crashes likely. Does take out 2 battlecopters there before popping the marker crash. Market crash now costs 46,000 versus the Lucky Star's 48,000, so getting pretty even. Black Boat, mech, infantry, and battlecopter. It's the anti-airs. Now her battlecopter has free ramp north, barring the other battlecopter. Medium tank strikes the anti-air within the minimum range of the artillery. This city's still despicably neutral. Tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Let's hit that infantry unit that interrupted capture. Bomber strikes the anti-air directly. Means there's no counter to this bomber. Fresh anti-air's way back here. Goes for the bomber, commits a double base skip. I would imagine it maybe a little too late to get out Recon's help spot for the bomber and spot any other anti-airs. Units are going to have trouble escaping the bomber, so might as well attack. Tank does hit the artillery, which actually apparently is low on fuel. Does take out that unit there. Lack of vision there for the bomb to push forward. And the bomber can push forward, take out one of the things, but would be potentially in range of this anti-air. Tank hits tank, nukes the lander, which would give a lot of power charge to Nell, and we do have the marker crash immediately. Now 2 bombers are floating about. And Nell probably does not want to spend money on a fighter right now. Battlecopter, double infantry. She will need to get out double anti-air this turn at this current rate. She does actually have enough for a stealth. I wonder what... nothing's banned, so stealths are a possibility for Nell. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter, hits tank twice. Hits the battlecopter. Hits the battlecopter. Finish off the battlecopter. Hits the mech. Hits the medium tank. Lucky Star, so now she has extra luck damage to deal with this medium tank. Gets a good strike there. Does not finish it off. Recon gets a good strike on the battlecopter. Full fighter, battlecopter, double infantry. Wait. Can't actually go forward. So it looks like the game ended. Who resigned? Looks like Nell did resign this turn. Sorry, it just didn't pop up anything. The duplicate sound effect threw me off. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Let's do this one next. There's another lively game. Let's see. Yep, don't have to worry about changing the map since I'm doing the maximize or whatever it's called. tablet or plug-in. Blah. I'm drawing blanks right now. So let's go and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the bottom right side is Yellow Comet Hawk. We've got new 1, 2, 3, 4. Spawn on top left side is Green Earth Sturm. We do have Endeavor. So let's get started. This map appears to be a 2 comm tower map, with both players do start off one immediately. There's Fog of War, and of course Sturm, he has perfect movement, so I have a feeling that some early recons can be very good for him. And he does have less firepower, but the plus 10% firepower immediately will help out with the recon rush. Just infantry though, of course. Next turn, Sturm has, well, he actually just has straight up 5,000 funds in the bank. Tank infantry, so you can go for something like a tank this turn. Tank infantry. Another tank and infantry for Hawk. Tank recon. There is a seaport here, but shores, so no blue water ships, or maybe a battleship, defensive battleship at best. This is a 2 comm tower map with 2 bases, so gonna be heavy in battle copters this game. And usually don't see 2 bases, 2 comm towers for 2 bases. It's usually at least 3 bases, sometimes 4 bases. Tank does hit tank. Curse Sturm gets extra defense, but his superior firepower is sometimes always very nice. Another pair of tanks there. Airport has not even been touched for Hawk. Sturm's airport is now secured, and those air units have perfect movement as well. So in other words, Sturm's aircraft are just not that great. They do have extra defense, of course, which can help them take a couple, make them resilient to machine gun fire, counterattack from tanks. But that's about it. Tank artillery. Infantry unit enrange the artillery piece, which may get a bit of a shelling. Tank artillery there. Feels like Hawk has a good number of tanks. 8 tanks versus just the 5. It does shell this infantry unit there, and shoots up that infantry there. Interrupts the capture further, down to 4 capture progress. Neo tank infantry, so we've got a very fast neo tank for Sturm. Tank does get double tap and hits thrice. Infantry unit gets hit as well. Artillery tank strikes infantry unit twice. Can interrupt the capture. Artillery now lurk in the woods. Neo tank heading down south for the winter. Tank ain't here. This property here is still despicably neutral, and this one here as well. Does strike the recon, spots the Neo tank the most inopportune time, I would say. This city up here will be captured by Sturm next turn, so Sturm will have a nice income advantage. Takes out this infantry there. Artillery can shell 2. Artillery can shell 2 tanks. Shells this tank here. Takes out that tank there. Neo tank goes in the city thinking the extra defense ought to be good, but the artillery is already positioned, so could be all softened up by a black wave, or soften up a little bit. We do have meteorite strike available for Sturm. Recon tank. Hits this Neo tank twice. Now thrice. Pops the Black's wave, that full superpower there. Very nice. We could see the meteor strike next turn as well. Neo tank's going to receive a bit of repairs, up to 6 health. New tank does fall back. Artillery lurk in the woods. Tank artillery, so no meteor strike just yet. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Anti-air artillery. So this game's getting a bit passive when it comes to startup time because it's a live game. 12 minutes versus 10 minutes, so they're still pretty even. The Hawk did eat some time there. The No Man's Land's being established. Infantry tank. Of course, a meteor strike is great against the stall games, since that whole flank could be simply crushed. And when it comes to Stern's meteor, it just focuses on greatest accumulation of value, so no variation meteors. But it might still has to target a unit directly. Can't remember an enemy unit located at the greatest accumulation value, so that should just be still targets the unit directly, while Von Bolts can target an area. You can see how everything's scattered about to avoid the meteor strike. Getting some picks down south. Rockets. Oh! Landed right there. I think it landed on top of this battlecopter directly, so this two battlecopters, a tank, and this recon got struck. Guess we're waiting to see how much this ticks down. 149 to 106, so about 2 turn advantage for Sturm, and Hawk has no power charge to help recover for after that superpower. Battlecopter strikes a tank, and that was the artillery that finished off, not this tank here. Sturm, of course, has additional 10% defense this turn, which defense stacking is very effective. And these 12 vehicles and aircraft can still get a bit of health recovery thanks to Black Wave and Black Storm, so it's a good idea to try to keep them alive if possible. You can always join them in as well if another unit needs ammo, fuel, or just a little bit extra health. Strikes the pipe seam. Both of these bases can deploy pipe runners if the pipe seam wasn't destroyed here. Not like that it's very useful though. Battlecopter strikes the tank. Tank hits tank. Will something take on the anti-air? It doesn't look like it. So send for multiple battlecopters. You're going to lose a battlecopter to an anti-air. There's only one anti-air. It can only shoot down one battlecopter. Medium tank. Shells this tank there. It does get trapped. Shells infantry unit for the crime of existing. Pipe seam is now destroyed thanks to the rocket. Medium tank recon. Black Wave is available to Hawk. Tank. Chose this tank there. Get some of these outlying infantry units. Recon anti-air. Medium tank does strike the artillery. Does hit this anti-air. Tank does strike the recon. Recon strikes the capping infantry squad. Oh, meteor strike or meteorite strike struck down here. Pretty good ball of units is struck. It does do 4 damage per hit. And you probably saw, hey, there's a pretty good tight cluster of value right there. just shell it with a meteorite. Of course, we could see a Black Storm help recover half of that health. Does already take the medium tank though. Medium tank strikes a medium tank. Well, thanks to Black Storm, they'll be on somewhat equal footing. Medium tank artillery. Storm ends the turn of 175 versus 88. Goes with 104 versus 138, greatly evening out the value. It's the recon. Medium tank or neo tank is struck twice and now thrice. Finish off some of those wounded units. Neo tank is also trapped. Sturm has no power charge, 150 funds and power charge, so not a lot. That'll strike the artillery there with the Neo tank. Of course, with this flank here filled with indirects, not pushing forward into the non-existent flank, and everything being scattered due to the black wave, Hawk doesn't really need to do much with this flank at this current rate, since Sturm's already pulling back for the non-existent threat. This property still is last remaining property that is still despicably neutral. Medium tank infantry. Does hit that infantry unit. Medium tank does strike the anti-air, but in range of the artillery, that's an auxiliary. Though we do have now the rocket advancing, providing some good coverage. Recon tank. Shells the medium tank, of course. Medium tank infantry. This battlecopter is low in fuel and ammo, could just donate all that supplies to this 5 health battlecopter. Does spot the anti-air. Recon tank. Trace infantry unit there. Rocket now in range of the medium tank, and of course of the range of the medium tank. It would be better to hit the 6 health medium tank on 1 defense star or the full health medium tank on a road. And this is quite a big congestion of units, so there might be another meteorite strike. Tank recon. Shells out with a tank, shells out the rocket. It's the... I think it's going for the meteorite strike. Does go ahead and strike this infantry unit directly, looks like. No, he hits this 6 health tank there, so I think it struck this medium tank directly. Yeah, this 8 health tank didn't get hit. Picks off that tank there. Anti-air hits the artillery. Medium tank hits regular tank there. Medium tank hits regular tank. Medium tank recon. Black wave, a bit of health recovery, going from 141 versus 77 to 84 versus 126. Hawk is still down by 2 turns. Does take on that rocket thrice. A few times a rocket can get hit 3 times and finally goes down. Usually goes down after 2 hits. Tank. Shells the medium tank, shells the medium tank. Machine guns down the medium tank. Found a spot where it was vulnerable to 50 cal. Which can exist, does exist some early medium tanks like Panzer IV and Panzer III. Of course, I think medium tanks this game is more close to Abrams. As in, while neo tanks are, of course, neo means new tank. Tank. Interrupts the capture. Straight sight infantry there. Shells the medium tank twice. Hits the artillery down to 8 health still? Huh. About 6 health, anti-air would do more damage than that. Right now this artillery is flashing all the symbols. It's low on ammo, fuel, but not low on health. 8 is not necessarily low on health. Neo tank and infantry. Answer 110 versus 82. When it comes to time remaining, Hawk is scraping the bottom barrel. Medium tank strikes medium tank. Storm does have 7 minutes remaining. Pops the power. The recon does strike the recon. Infantry and tank. Does take out the medium tank there. Hits the regular tank there. Hits the regular tank there. Pops another meteor strike, right strike. And that was a horrible one. I think he just went for a bit of a blind barrage there. Hits the tank and recon here. So really bad. He didn't have vision, that recon. Seeing that, he must realize Hawk has nothing less left if he struck right there. With our cast division, we knew it would be a good idea for him not to go with the power there. Definitely not worth it. We got a battleship. Is he going to resign? No, that may be a serious battleship. Double recon, another black boat. Both players have 2 comm towers. This one's not been secured. Neo tank does strike this tank there. Does spot the artillery, which is at currently 9 health. Now 5 health. Now 3 health. So now it's low in health, fuel, and ammo. He also has no spotter, so won't be able to shell that Neo tank, I believe. So it can't strike anything at the moment. It needs a spotter. Ends his turn there. Didn't even bother moving the artillery. He is somewhat low in time. Sturm has plenty of time. Recon's pushing away forward. The recon rush, blitzing across the land, spotting a bit of everything. Oh, I can't go forward any turns. I think Hawk has resigned. Yep, looks like Hawk has resigned. This is Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get started on the next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. My apologies, I am back. Let's see, that was this one here. On to this one here. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Small on the south side as the Orange Star Drake. We got Hunch. Small on the north side as the... what's this color again? As the Azure Asteroid Kindle. We got Clo Box. So let's get started. This appears to be a 3-base map. Airport for each side as well. Comm towers, safes, procurement in the center. HQ somewhat vulnerable. We do also have a cruiser for both sides to give a bit of spotting in this region, probably towards the comm tower and the pipe scene. So the cruiser is actually just sort of interesting placement. It is on top of also a reef there, so it is camouflage, so you have to spot it and then shell it. The artillery can also shell it while also be in range of a pipe seam here. Tank and infantry. So first sinking on the field. Infantry, tank and infantry. Tank double infantry. Tank double infantry. Battlecopter for Kindle. Drake's battlecopter of course has 30% less firepower, even for the one comm tower, minus 20% is quite significant. While Kindle, of course, does get firepower bonuses from urbanized terrain, so even the labs are useful, at least for fighting from, not necessarily for anything else. Anti-air, recon, and infantry. Tank, recon, and infantry. Recon, tank, and artillery. Does strafe the infantry unit. Battlecopter, anti-air, and infantry with infantry. Capture the lab there. Hit strikes this infantry unit there. Hits that infantry unit as well. Try and capture Paris cities. Takes out the recon there. Battlecopter can't really stick around with the anti-air nearby. Strafing a tank there probably won't be worth it. There's also a good number of tanks here. So Kindle will need to send down her another battlecopter down here and keep this tank to hit this anti-air, which actually is possible. I'm gonna double tap this infantry unit there with the nearby infantry. Then if the tank were to strike the anti-air, then the battlecopter can strike the tank. Tank does strike the tank. Hits that infantry unit twice. Does finish off there. Did capture the comm tower first, which is quite important. Strikes the tank there rather than the anti-air. I disagree with that. Hope this infantry unit there gets in between the anti-air and the battlecopter. Battlecopter, tank, and double infantry. Free shot there on the battlecopter. We do now have the Urban Blight available. And when it comes to Urban Blight, you want to combo as well as getting boost strike from various urbanized terrain as well. It's not necessarily cost effective enough just to go for the damage. You want to use it also as a boost. Does pop the Urban Blight immediately. Does take out the anti-air there. We got another anti-air in reserve. Bit of a join there. Battlecopter, double infantry, tank. Tank, and infantry. Does strike this recon. Booster strike there on that infantry unit there. Strikes this infantry unit twice. Booster strike there. Tank will be struck by the battlecopter. And you can easily cut off one of the battlecopters, of course. Tank, and recon. We do have a tsunami available. Strikes that infantry unit twice. Hits this infantry unit twice. Tank does strike tank. Hits that infantry unit there as well. Anti-air will take out the battlecopter, no problem. We do now have a full Typhoon. Probably should pop it. Again, a bit of global damage there. Goes from 106 down to 83. Another Urban Blight's available, which of course can provide some additional attrition damage as well as possible booster strike capability here. Pops Urban Blight immediately. Pulls like 2 health tank. Battlecopter hits the 6 health tank. 4 health tank gets struck without a booster strike. Takes out that recon there with a boosted strike. Takes out infantry unit there with a boosted strike. Tank does strike the tank. Does take out the 6 health or 3 health tank there. Takes out that infantry unit there. Another property is still despicably neutral in the center of the map. 19,000 income player for each player. Double tank and infantry. Anti-air will strike that infantry unit there. And no boost strike onto this tank there out of range. Does take out the recon. Boost strike there on the infantry unit. Will be finished off there. Tank does strike the anti-air. Tank does strike the anti-air. Battlecopter strikes the tank. And will strike the artillery in the auxiliary. A lot of good strikes there. Of course, all these units advance wounded. Tank, and infantry. Anti-air, infantry, and tank. We do have another Urban Blight popped. And nice bit of global damage. This might be at 1% health. 1 health infantry did finish it off. Tank does strike tank. Does not get a boost strike onto this tank here. Tank does strike tank. Tank does strike a recon. Hits the infantry unit there. Tank does hit the anti-air. We do see another Typhoon almost available. Battlecopter, tank, double infantry. And serve 106 and Kindle's down to 9 seconds, so she's screaming bottom barrel. Drake's at 2 minutes, so he was at 8 seconds as well. So both players scraping the bottom barrel when it comes to time. So their actions will be a bit more rash from now on. And there is superpower. Tank does strike the tank. Does not finish off that tank there. Falls back. Tank does hit the 4 health tank, hits the 5 health tank. Does finish off that tank there. 8 health versus 8 health. 2 health tank may just throw itself into the 3 health tank. Of course, this cruiser is still cruising about. But it's mostly just snoozing about. Looks like I got a bad coin flip there. 1 health tank sacked itself on the 1 health tank. Tank, and infantry. Tank hits tank. You try to machine gun it down. You got hit not just thrice, but twice. Does hit the recon, hits the infantry unit there, hits the infantry there, does not interrupt the capture down to 8 capture progress. Tank does get hit twice. Tank, and infantry. And serve 88 versus 74, so Kindle does have the advantage at the moment. Battlecopter gets shot down. Kindle did also end her turn with a min 16, so she has a bit of a float. Tank, and anti-air. Does strike the anti-air twice. Hits the tank once. Trying to capture 2 properties, both despicably neutral. Does hit that tank there, hits that tank there. Summon another tsunami there with the time running out. Maybe just try and put more pressure on his opponent. Kindle has 3 minutes. Drake ends turn with 2 seconds remaining. Urban Blight has now been summoned, inflicting some blight upon this land. Tank does get gunned down. Booster strike down to that tank. Tank's extra defense, probably what saved it, not to mention the 1 less health. Battlecopter. Infantry, and anti-air. Strike that anti-air. Tank, recon, and tank. Hits the infantry unit there and there. Tank, and infantry. Does show that tank for 1 point of damage. Tank does strike the tank. And does take out the tank there. The problem is this infantry unit's next to a tank's next to a property, so we could see a boost strike there. Same thing potentially here. So picking off a full health infantry unit is a little bit more difficult than a 1 health infantry unit. It's probably just job just to occupy it to deny the booster strike, which I think will be successful. Tank, and infantry. She could possibly pop an Urban Blight. That might finish off the tank. It does. Battlecopter, infantry, tank, and infantry. Tank, anti-air, and tank. Oh, looks like the black boat has been sunk to the bottom of the HQ. Let's cruise it down to 5 fuel. Let's look at the battlecopter there. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Booster strike there to 1 shot in that tank. First strike on this tank there. Battlecopter, tank, and double infantry. Does strike the infantry unit there. Kindle's down to 24 seconds, so she spent her time float. Tank does strike the tank. Tank does strike a tank. Pops more English weather. Infantry, tank, and anti-air. Black or cruises down to 2 fuel. Does strike that anti-air twice, and now thrice, but does not take it out. Does hit this infantry unit there, or tank, blah. Does take it out, so now there could be boost strike hitting this tank. 19,000, 41,000 income. Tank, and infantry. It's for 406 versus 91, so Kindle has about 1 turn advantage. Tank does strike the tank. Does take out that tank there. 1 health anti might as well sack itself in the battlecopter. Nope, decides to trap it so the 9 health battlecopter can push forward. Battlecopter tank double infantry. Tank does hit tank. Tank does not take out the tank. Hits it twice, now thrice. Does take out the tank there. Boost, nope, no boost strike there. Boost strike there. Battlecopter down to 26 fuel. And this black boat might be at 1% health. I don't think it's at 10% health. Tank, battlecopter, double infantry. Cruiser is down to 1 fuel, so we'll be sunk to the bottom of the reef next turn. Let's take out the infantry unit twice. Battlecopter, recon, infantry, and anti-air. Pops an urban blight. Battlecopter strikes the tank again. Hits the anti-air without the boost strike. Could have got the boost strike, though this has 1 capture progress remaining, so there's a reason not to interrupt it. There are multiple captures going on. This has 13, this has 2, so multiple captures. Of course, the comm tower. Not comm tower, lab. We do have more English weather available. Takes the battlecopter. Takes the battlecopter. Pops the English weather. Which does interrupt this capture. Or health remaining, so that will not be as interrupt that capture. So multiple captures next turn. It did also interrupt this capture as well. Mean tank strikes regular tank there. Booster strike on that tank there. Hits the anti-air as well. 1 health tank finds 1 health tank. 2 health tank takes on 1 health tank. Takes out the 3 health tank. Anti-air strikes the battlecopter without a boost strike. Does not get a boost strike there on the anti-air. Tank there. Capture the lab, trying to flip that city. It's the anti-air now. Infantry battlecopter, recon, and commits a base skip. Has 3,000 funds, but has 16 seconds, so that was a purposeful base skip. Does take out the battlecopter there. Hits this tank a couple times. Hits this tank there. 1 health tank remaining. Booster strike there. Tank battlecopter. I just realized there's a pipe runner, so that's probably a joke unit. I doubt that's purposeful. Is he going to resign this turn? Pipe run takes out a tank, deletes that unit off of Twitter. Yep, deleting his units. Pipe runner. Interesting way to sort of resign. And Drake does go ahead and get defeated by Hassan HQ capture. As Grade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Probably have time for one last replay tonight. That was my last live league game, blah. So on to this game here. This is a game I do want to cast, even though it's the same matchup as the previous game. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the bottom left side as the Cobalt Ice Kindle, we got Advanced Noob. So on top of right side as the Brown Desert Drake, we have Muji 6. Which desert for the English CO doesn't seem all that correct, though then again the Empire, the sun never starts on the British Empire. Or the English Empire. So let's go and get started. This is a 3-base map, 1 airport, HQ's in the center. This is a 28 property map, so both players will be approximately what, 22 properties. It's probably not a good map for Kindle's High Society. It's probably a better map for Urban Blights. But High Society is always should be on the table. It is a good CO superpower. Just Urban Blight is an excellent CO power. Triple infantry there. Recon reconnoitering its way into the center of the map. Double infantry tank. Infantry, and tank. Tank, double infantry. And does interrupt that capture there. Triple infantry and a battlecopter. Drake can go for battlecopters, but they will have less firepower. So it's generally a bad idea. Interior double infantry. Does take out that 6 self infantry in there. Tank double infantry. Tank, recon, and infantry. Recon spots infantry unit there. Is in range of this tank. Just out of vision range of the tank. Battlecopter is out of range of the interior at the moment. Tank, double infantry, and a T-copter. Takes out that unit there, trying to flip the city. Of course, nothing really in the region to stop the tank. The artillery could advance forward, but won't be able to make it to this forest. Battlecopter, of course, can strike the tank up north. The interior is lying in wait. Double tank and infantry. Does take out that unit there. Hits that unit twice. Tank, and infantry. Does take out the battlecopter. And try to flip that city. Tank, and infantry. Does get trapped there with the tank and hits that infantry unit there. Hits that infantry unit twice and does get some good hits there. Does spot the anti-air now. Tank, and recon. This tank is currently safe from this tank. Hits that infantry unit there. The art does not enter range of the artillery piece, so the recon will be shelled next turn. So right now, Kindle does need more assets over here. She does have some tanks. Tank, anti-air, and infantry. Shells the recon. Boost strike onto that infantry unit there. Hits that infantry unit as well. Urban Blight is available, but like I always say, Urban Blight alone for global damage is not cost effective. You gotta get boosted strikes to go along with it. Tank, artillery, and infantry. Nice thing as well, if this tank takes a shot against a recon, it will be range the artillery piece, and or another tank push forward and shell it from that city. But both those tanks are just falling back. Battlecopter tank double infantry. It does capture the city there. Resupplies an infantry unit there. We got a good core of tanks here, ready to blitz their way forward. Of course, Drake's not not a tank CO. Kindle can boost her tanks to these cities here, of course. But at this current rate, if the game comes to Stall Fest, it's probably better to go for High Society than a Urban Blight, because that'll give her some breakthrough potential. Shows some units there, has a tank next to a city, so there could be a great boost strike there, and here as well. So Kindle can make do with Urban Blight next turn. Though to be fair, even a regular turn wouldn't be half bad. Does spot the artillery. The 66 health tank out there, hits infantry unit there. Pops Urban Blight. Could be not necessarily one shot since on 3 defense stars, that missile silo platform. Gets a boost strike there. Does take out the tank. Does spot the tank inside the forest. Gets knocked out there. We may see our Typhoon next turn, or not necessarily may, but we will see one. Does find the infantry unit lurk in the woods. Just like a Reddit mod. No way again, then again, they won't be in the woods. Recon, and infantry. Kindle serve 146 and gets sent down to 117. Neotank is in range of the artillery piece, but the artillery piece will get overran. It is on top of a property, those neutral, so it'll be a 3 health booster strike on the Neotank, which is not fantastic, but it's probably still a good idea to take the shot. Or it gets removed from the city, so another you can take a booster strike onto this tank here. Excuse me. Ooh, full bomber. 2 anti-airs up north, so Kindle has to be careful. Both units starting to fall back. Blackbow could resupply the artillery, though she does have 5,000 funds remaining, so she's probably going to spend first, then the resupply. Nope, didn't even go bother the resupply. Could have at least done a. She would have spent money on the resupply of the T-copter. Neotank hits infantry. It is also next to an urbanized property. Wait, is a bomber in range? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the bomber can get a booster strike on the Neotank, probably doing 140% damage, I would hazard a guess. Anti-air, infantry, and battlecopter. I am curious how much that would do. Uh, 140% roughly. And then the bomber would definitely pay for itself, but does decide to use a boost strike from a battlecopter. Tank, and infantry. Granted, the bomber would have took that shot. It would be mutual trade since the anti-airs would definitely retaliate. But it would be cost effective, but just. It's the battlecopter. Both anti-airs are spotted right now. Don't know if she can range this one. As we turn, she really wish she had a high society for the breakthrough. Right now, the tank, artillery, and recon all advancing onto nothing. Bomber takes out the tank, does pop the urban blight. Recon hits the infantry there, does stop it from being captured. Shows the tank there, hits the tank there. Tank gets hit, starting a bit of a blitz. Takes the capturing squad there, does get a boost strike, taking out the anti-air one shot. Tank hits tank. Looks like the bomber might be safe from anti-air. We'll have to take out this recon, which means this tank will have to be double strike first. Which means this. Yep, I think the bomber's gonna be safe. I don't think this bomber could be ranged. This recon will have to be double tapped. Maybe a superpower would be enough, but of course the extra defense for her own power would help cancel off some aspects. We do now have the tsunami activated. Maybe that's enough. Hits the tank twice. Neo tank breaks through the recon. Does not take out the bomber, leaves out 1 health. So that Neo tank she didn't sack her bomber on did come in and bite her in the butt. Spots a whole lot of nothing up here. 2 overly cautious down south. Boost striking the anti-air, does take it out. Bomber could fall back to the airport, decides to shell the Neo tank. This full health anti-air can always finish it off whenever it wants to. Another full bomber hits the tank up there. Recon hits infantry there. Unit. Neo tank still has 7 health, so it's plenty of health to loiter around with. All these tanks are being cleaved through. Does hit that tank there. Tank, anti-air, and infantry. T-copter down 32 fuel. Tank, and infantry. Pops an urban blight now. Takes out that tank there. Boost striking that infantry unit there. Hits the recon. Anti-air hits the battlecopter. Bomber strikes regular tank. And it's going to be a little bit low on fuel, so even if it doesn't get repaired, you can always join into this other bomber to get some refueling. Does hit the battlecopter there. Does take out the tank there. Finish off the bomber there. Hits the artillery there. Taking a lot of hits. Artillery is now in range of this regular tank there, so Kindle's going to get some good progress here. He does have 21,000 income at the moment versus 17. Since this southern part of the map is just basically forfeit to her, and we've still got multiple properties still despicably neutral with 3 capture progress remaining, 3 capture progress remaining. Shells the tank, takes out the tank. 9 infantry can start capturing up the seaport. Takes out the tank there, boost strike there on the tank, takes out the T-copter. Bomber does not push forward. There's 2 anti-airs. Doesn't want to sack a bomber on a single anti-air. Nothing in this area to stop this battlecopter, is there? Probably something that Kindle didn't need was anti-air in this region. Insert 104 versus 99, so they're still pretty even. Does hit the tank there. Neo tank down 6 health next to a property. Bomber falls back to HQ. Pulls back away from the battlecopter, and there's also full of tank causing issues. Anti-air, recon, and infantry. Resupplies infantry. Neo tank takes on regular tank. Tank T-Copter and commits a base skip. Nukes the Neo Tank. The Neo Tank was far too valuable, could have been sacked and destroyed far earlier. And I have a feeling this bomber could be struck. We've got this anti here, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which can clear out this infantry unit there. And this other one can rotate around and hit the bomber as well, because that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that can't range it through that direction. I have to go through this tank here. We do have a full Typhoon available. So let's take out the T-Copter. Pops the superpower now. Battlecopter hits infantry. Takes out the artillery. Now Drake has a massive force down south. Kindle has a wounded anti-air, which, how did that get spotted? It says it's spotted right now. And tank. Tank and recon. Tank does strike the tank. One health tank sacks itself. Does not get any points of damage there. Anti-air, Neo Tank, and infantry. Bomber can make its way to this black boat to get some resupply in the front line, or fall back to the airport to get a full resupply. It's probably better to go with black boat, so it has to turn forward. And right now, Kindle has a good core of tanks here, nothing really contested, though the tank 4 tanks now coming in reserve. Tank, and infantry. Does hit that battlecopter, hits the recon. Pops a power. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. Tank does strike the tank, hits the infantry unit there, tank hits tank. Does hit the recon. Tank, anti-air, and infantry. Neo tank hits the regular tank. Tank hits tank. Tank hits anti-air. Hits anti-air. Tank, infantry. Power activated. Hits the bomber as well. Takes out the infantry unit there. Feels like a pretty good turn for Drake, to say the least. Taking out the bomber. We have a clean sweep up north zone. 1 health tank and 9 health battlecopter, all that remains. The black boat could end its turn on top of the seaport in order to get a bit of resupply, but could resupply the battlecopter first. Neo tank double infantry, ends turn for 117 versus 76. Nothing stops this Neo tank down here. Hits this recon twice. Resupplies that battlecopter now. Black boat's down to 8 fuel. Tank, and infantry. Tank, infantry, and recon. Neo tank gets boost strike on that irregular infantry unit there. Both players at 20,000 income, so they're even. Neo-tank double infantry, so Neo-tank heading down south. This Neo-tank may head over here or head down south as well. Black boat's getting dangerously low on fuel. It looks like this property can be interrupted next turn. A high society is almost available. And right now, Kindle does have 21 properties, so it'll be a plus 63% firepower. Tank, and infantry. Anti-air tank, battlecopter, and commits a base skip. Recon straight forward. Tank does strike the recon. Interrupts the capture. Both Neo-tanks here, 2 anti-airs. We do have this one Neo-tank in reserve. Multiple battlecopters and tanks in reserve here. Double tank artillery. Interrupts the capture. Hits the recon twice. Going captures, 5 capture progress remaining. Tank hits the recon. We do have now the high society available, which could be very nice for a wall break. Tank, and recon. Pops Urban Blight. Booster strike there. That's a pretty good Urban Blight so far with 1 booster strike. Hits infantry units twice. Hits that tank there. Neo-tank falls back a little bit. Does not vision these Neo-tanks in the center at the moment. Tank, and recon. Tank does hit the infantry. Recon hits it as well. Hits the recon. Neo-tank advance way forward. Next to the artillery. Both Neo-tanks are not in range of the artillery. And since it's on top of force, that's definitely, the first movement was definitely luck. We do have a tsunami now available. We could see another Urban Blight as well. This has 2 capture progress remaining. It's a good strike there. Not enough on Urban Blight. Black bow ends the turn, 1 fuel remaining. Urban Blight can now be popped. Pops it. Hits an infantry unit there. There could be a boost strike on this 9 health tank. Does. Spots the other Neo-tank that was not already spotted earlier. Does hit the tank there. Another good boost strike. Battlecopter hits tank. Tank hits tank. Could shell this infantry unit there to deny the capture. Shoots it instead. Boost strike with the infantry unit. Somehow does not die. But it's probably at 1% health. If not, will be at 1% health with the Typhoon. Neo-tank takes on regular anti-air. Instead of 173 versus 120. Cold down to 136 thanks to the English weather. Hits the battlecopter. Neo-tank hits regular tank there. Neo-tank hits regular Neo-tank. And she is nowhere near close to her next power. 650 funds in power charge. Tank, and recon. Looks like the black boat does go ahead and sink itself to full fuel. Oop, no boost there. No boost strike there. There is a boost strike. The extra defense from the superpower is quite effective. Tank, double infantry, and battlecopter. When 1 health tank does get trapped, there goes the artillery. Neo tank here is next to an urbanized terrain, so there could be boost strike onto it, but it's not likely. You've got a black build and 2 Neo tanks as a line to get around. Double tank and infantry. Takes out that tank there. Battlecraft hits Neo tank, and Neo tank hits Neo tank, sacrificing self, hits the Neo tank there. Pops an Urban Blight, which does interrupt this capture. No boost strike on from this city there. Hits the recon. Battlecopter recon double infantry. Does strike the battlecopter there. Tank and infantry. Does hit the Neo tank. Does hit the Neo tank. Boost strike there on the anti-air. Very nice. Almost enough for another typhoon or tsunami, which might be a good idea. 3 capture progress remaining, and now it's fully reset. No boost strike on the Neo tank, but he could try trapping by putting the 3-up tank on top of the city. Neo tank double infantry. Hits the regular tank there, hits the tank there, hits the battlecopter. Anti-air tank infantry ends with 108 versus 105, so they're both pretty even. Full health Neo tank advancing. Does hit the recon there twice. Tops off that tank there, hits the anti-air, hits the tank there. 1 health tank could be joined in with us 8 health tank here to get the fuel up. Tank and infantry. Does take out the 1 health tank there, hits the 5 health tank there. Neo tank takes on, does not take out the battlecopter there. Anti-air tank and recon. Does strike this infantry unit there. Takes out the T-copter. We do now have a full typhoon available. A boost strike there on the Neo tank from the city. Artillery, recon, and infantry. Right now, Drake's at 80,000, Kindle's at 119. Now she's down to 92. Takes the battlecopter. Hits the tank there. Takes out the tank there. Neo tank takes out the anti-air and takes the 1 health infantry. But now there is a Neo tank next to a city there, so we get to see a booster strike. Pass the battlecopter. Decides to trap the Neo tank, which is probably not a bad idea either. Boost strike there, takes out the regular tank. Tank and anti-air. Tank hits the... Oh, gets trapped on the 1 health infantry unit there. That's not great. And Drake does resign this grade, saying, "Thank you for watching, and on to the next replay." As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay for tonight. So everyone, thank you for watching. Have a good evening, and